Good evening, and welcome to the December 21st, 2023 meeting of the Town of Southampton Zoning Board of Appeals. This meeting is being held live and also via video conferencing in accordance with the Town Board's enactment of Local Law Number 14 of 2022. Our next meeting and those following also will be held in person here at Town Hall and will continue to allow for remote participation. So please keep checking the town's website for updates and any new information. If you wish to view tonight's live meeting only and not participate, please do not join the Zoom meeting and instead go to the town's website for viewing access. With that, I'd like you to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
For those of you here with us tonight, in case of an emergency evacuation, please exit through the rear doors of this room to one of the staircases across the hall and continue downstairs and out through the main entrance. Do not attempt to use the elevators during an emergency evacuation. In case of a medical emergency, the automated external defibrillator and first aid kit are both located in the hallway on this floor opposite the elevator. Restrooms are located across the hall from this room. We will begin this meeting with public hearings. We have applicants and members of the public here with us live and also standing by via Zoom webinar, which is being moderated by CTV. CTV will mute the speakers on Zoom until it is their time to give testimony before the board. Please be patient. If you find that you're having difficulties accessing the hearing, visit the town clerk's meeting portal and click on the instructions link. Also, for those of you in this boardroom, please silence your cell phones and refrain from speaking to one another, as it interferes with the recordings of our proceedings. Tonight, board member Helen Burgess is participating via Zoom. A reminder that applicants, agents, and members of the public speaking, other than attorneys, will be sworn in, will state their address for the record, and will offer their testimony as it relates to the application before the board. In order to consider properly every application before us tonight, individuals commenting on a particular application have a time limit of 3 minutes. Also, before handing in any submissions to the board tonight, please make sure that documents identify the ZBA application name and tax map number. The application name should also be written on your certified receipts. Unless otherwise stated at the end of an individual application hearing, all applications will remain open for written comments for all purposes until a set date. Those written comments can be addressed to the members of the board and sent via email, mail, and/or dropped off at Town Hall to the town secretary, Candace Cowell. At this time, I would like to take a motion to approve the minutes of our December 7th meeting.
Motion to approve.
Second. Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Mr. Daly.
Aye.
Mr. Hill.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess. Chair votes aye. Meetings are approved. Keith, would you take us through the agenda for the evening?
Okay, there's some changes to the agenda. First item is going to be the SECRA, the lead agency resolution, John T. Montecalvo et al. We're going to be moved to adjourn to our 1:18 meeting.
Second.
Mr. Tuthill.
All right,
Mr. Daly.
Aye.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess. Chair votes aye.
and on the decision calendar, I'm going to move that we reopen Florence Goldsmith to accept written submissions.
Second.
Mr. Tuthill.
All right,
Mr. Daly.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess. Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
now I'll move to close it with a determination later this evening.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, as far as the following decisions will be adjourned to our 1/4/24 meeting. That's April Suarez, Renette Riley, Stephen and Melissa Lesser? No. Virginia Daly and James Daly,
Second. Oh, there's more.
16 Indian Avenue LLC. Roberto Cami, J10 Properties, Dilip Patel, Eric Belfi, Aaron Appel, Alexander Vyman, and Production Holdings LLC.
Second.
Mr. Tudhill.
Aye.
Mr. Daly.
Aye.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess. Chair votes aye. Motion carries.
All right. We did that.
Reopen it? Oh.
Yeah.
Lesser we have to do.
Yeah, Stephen and Melissa Lesser. I'm gonna move to reopen that to be able to accept written submissions.
Second.
Mr. Tudhill.
Aye.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Mr. Daly.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess. Chair votes aye.
Okay, that being done, I'll make a motion to close with a determination later this evening.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, as far as Matthew Frank, that's gonna be adjourned to our 118 meeting.
Second.
Hold
Mr.
on,
Tudhill?
hold on.
Oh, we got another one.
That's
Yeah.
another one.
Mark Smith and Heather Cole, the same, adjourned to our 118 meeting.
Second.
Okay. Mr. Tudhill.
Aye,
Mr. Daly.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess. Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
I believe I got it all, if anybody else has anything else.
No, I think you got it
No.
all.
That's it.
Okay, back to the beginning of the agenda.
Let's do it.
Item 1, Sean Daniel Cassidy and Jerry Johnson Logue as trustees of the Jerry Logue and Sean Cassidy Living Trust, dated 7/21/19, 41 Wickatuck Drive, in Noyak, Suffolk County Tax Map 900-15-2-55. Applicant requests relief from the following provisions of the town code for a two-story addition to an existing dwelling on a non-conforming lot. 330-84D pyramid height for a total pyramid encroachment of 1,677 cubic feet. Existing encroachment of 105 cubic feet on east side and 46 cubic feet on the west side. For a deck over a existing garage, 330-84D pyramid height for an encroachment, for a total pyramid encroachment in the amount of 1,530 cubic feet. Existing encroachment of 650 cubic feet. And 330-83A4 yards to allow a deck higher than 1 foot above ground level to be located in the required front yard. And 330-94, schedule of off-street parking space requirements for residential uses for one parking space where a minimum of 3 spaces is required, and any other relief necessary.
Board has jurisdiction. Can you pass that to Mike?
Thank you.
Lori, can I swear you
Take one,
in?
pass it down.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, please state your name and address.
This is Lori Wiltshire for Land Planning Services, representing Cassidy and Lowe. My address is 231 Cantigo Road in East Hampton.
Thank you. Okay, tell us about the application.
So this application is to build a second-story addition to an existing house. The existing house already exceeds pyramid, and the additional relief is due to the fact that the house does not align with the side yard property lines, as can be seen on the survey, last revised by Gary Benz on June 28th of 2023. So if you look at that, the survey itself, you'll see that the house is not aligned and it is skewed. And that is where the pyramid relief for the second story, it's really a 1/2 story addition. It's more like a dormer addition, not a full set 2-story. But because it's not aligned, there's an encroachment, a further encroachment into the pyramid. We also seek pyramid relief to legalize the roof deck and railing above the existing garage. Both actions require pyramid relief due to the narrow 50-foot wide lot width at the street. It should be noted that the garage was built at the front property line pursuant to a 1959 variance, a copy which is attached to the packet I gave you. It should also be noted that the deck and railing existed on the garage when the applicants bought the property and was repaired as needed. And I'm going to read a statement from the applicants for the record, which you have also in your packet. We're sorry to miss the meeting for our application for variances. We wanted to be there, however, we had travel plans to visit family for the holidays, and we're not able to reschedule our flights without hefty change fees. We purchased 41 Wickatuck in February 2023. The garage is reflected on the COs. The garage roof deck existed when we purchased the house. However, the garage roof and roof deck and railing were in disrepair and dangerous. An inspection confirmed the hazardous conditions. Attached, please find the home inspection report, which is actually not attached, conducted by Beren's Home Inspections, 360 degrees, stating, quote, "Roof is unsafe to walk on, leaking, damaged, rotten. It needs replacing now," end quote. Additionally, the insurance company would not insure the property unless we had the garage roof and roof deck repaired. We had to submit pictures showing the repairs, and I've also attached those to your packet. I've shown you a picture of the finished product when they did the repairs, but I also show you the condition of it when it was first unsafe, leaking, and rotten, and then there's 2 pages of that pretty much. So before hiring the contractor, we called the town and spoke to a building inspector who told us that a building permit was required, but most people repair roofs and then apply for a permit to repair when complete. With this information and the liability the roof and deck presented, we rushed to hire a contractor to make the necessary repairs before anyone was injured. Unfortunately, a stop work order was issued on April of 2023. Immediately, we applied for a building permit. We were then told that a variance was required. The property is vertical and tiered. One has to climb steps to get to the house. Given how the garage and deck were constructed decades ago, the garage roof surface is at ground level with the upper level of the property. With architectural plans, we believe that the roof, interior support, and roof deck would be built to code and would no longer be dangerous or hazardous. We would greatly appreciate if you would approve the variances. Thank you and happy holidays. So there's also a safety issue with regard to this deck and railing. The garage is nearly a flat roof. It sits 8 feet tall at the front property line. So it's basically built into an embankment. The property goes like this, the garage goes like this. And it's a flat roof that walks straight out to the front, and there's an 8-foot drop. There has to be a railing. There has to be, I mean, they had to repair it, obviously, but there has to be a railing for safety purposes. The railing and the deck are what we're here for relief for. The garage itself predates zoning, well, it has a variance anyway, and does not need any relief. So we also need relief as the deck sits more than 1 feet above grade in the required front yard, and relief for 1 parking space where a minimum of 3 is required. Now, the garage provides 1 space on the property, but the garage sits 17 feet back from the paved right-of-way, and as you can see on the survey, that allows at least 3 cars to park head-in off the street. They actually have a gravel area between the garage itself and the edge of pavement, and there's at least room for maybe even 4 cars.
Who owns that property? It's not the property owner.
It's
not the
in the
applicant.
right-of-way,
It's in the right of
but
way,
it's
so they
not
can
in-
park in the right of way.
but it's not on the in the paved area. And I noticed driving around this area that a lot of people park in the right-of-way. It just seems to be, and they also seem to have a lot of very narrow, long lots. With regard to the pyramid relief for the 2nd-story addition to the existing home, we note that 52 Wickatuck was granted 4,036 cubic feet of relief. 50 Wickatuck saw 4,650 cubic feet of relief. 17 Wickatuck saw 1,212 cubic feet of relief. And 6 Wickatuck, an unknown amount of pyramid relief, was granted for a 2nd-story addition. All of these lots are long and narrow as well. This shows that the relief requested is compatible with the neighborhood and will not cause an undesirable change. There is no environmental impact from the proposal. The hardship is not self-created, as they cannot construct a 2nd story or legalize the garage deck and railing without relief due to the lack of lot width and the garage's position on the front property line. And although this may be a self-created hardship, clearly, with the lack of lot width and the precedent in the area, there's no reason that the variances should be denied.
Is it a one-story addition or a two-story addition?
So it's a half-story addition. It's presently a one-story house, and they're dormering it up in the middle of the roof line. You can see the gray area on the survey is where the addition is proposed. So you'd call it a second story, but it's really gonna be a 1.5-story dwelling when it's done.
Wait, I'm confused.
So am I.
I'm very confused by this. So on the survey, it says existing one-story frame dwelling.
Correct.
And then there's the gray area, it
Yes.
says proposed one-story addition. Is there?
Proposed second-story addition.
No, it says proposed one-story addition.
It
So is
doesn't
that
say-
the second story?
Oh, no, we don't need relief for the proposed one-story
Well,
addition.
where are you talking about
So
then?
the gray area on top of the larger house.
Oh, all right, okay,
You
so
say
in the middle,
proposed
so there's a white.
Second story,
yeah,
I see
okay.
where it
Yeah,
says
it's a
that.
small note that says proposed second-story addition.
Okay,
Ah.
okay, it's very hard to see it, it's so tiny.
Yes,
but,
agreed.
You don't have one this size?
maybe- I don't know, maybe I did.
Okay.
And the deck that you're talking about is the proposed deck between the garage and the dwelling?
No, it is the deck and railing on top of the garage. It is this deck and railing here.
Yeah.
There's the legal garage that was there when they got the variance for.
Okay.
This is where you have an 8-foot drop.
Okay.
This deck and railing were there and in disrepair when my clients bought the property. The relief we need is only for this deck and railing, because this is actually the front yard line right here, and we encroach into it.
Mhm. So that's the decking that you're talking about?
Correct.
It's very unclear in the description. Let me see what it says.
This zoning board application is very fuzzy. So what are these dates? October 5, is that 1959 and
Correct.
1960?
Correct.
Okay.
And a garage on the front of the
So
property
this
line. granted.
pre-existed the pyramid law
Yes,
by many years?
yes.
Okay.
Also, but we did include, there's an existing encroachment there, but we didn't need a variance for it.
Exactly.
Yep.
Okay. So you've got a legal garage.
Yes.
You now have a pyramid law issue because of the advent of the pyramid law.
And because of the deck and the railing on top.
And the deck and the railing creates.
Which we,
a
looking at
safety hazard.
aerials, it's been there for a really long time. It's not mentioned on any of the COs.
Well, it
just says
doesn't seem as though
garage.
removing the railing is going to change your pyramid issue
No, and it's not, it's
Exactly.
going to certainly create a safety issue.
and creates a safety issue.
Yes. So,
I'd
like I
also
said,
like to
like I
see-
said, we are 17 feet back from the right-of-way. So
Mhm.
this is not towering over the road.
I'd like to see are they going to replace the railing? Is that the
It's
railing
already
that's
been
going to
done.
be, it's already been
The
done?
work's been done, they got a
Okay.
stop work order.
Okay.
It's all been taken care of because they couldn't get insurance for the house when they bought it because it was in such disrepair.
And-
Right.
And there's a proposed encroachment of 15 to 30 cubic feet, is that correct? Where the existing encroachment is 650. Why is there such a big addition? You see what
I
see what I'm
do.
looking on?
I do. I'm really not sure where the existing 650 even came from because it's not really something we needed to get in the first place.
It's not like you're building on that portion of the building. You're not building onto the garage.
No.
So there was,
But it's
yeah, I don't understand
confusing
why it
because-
says there's an existing.
Yeah, it says existing, so to me, that's
It
like.
is, the
The
proposed should be
architect
the
put it on the
existing.
plans, but it doesn't, it's not really relevant
Right.
because we never needed a variance
So
when the
really,
garage was
it's
built.
just, the existing pyramid encroachment is 1530
1530,
cubic
right,
square.
right.
cubic
Correct.
feet. Okay,
That is exactly right.
okay.
Was there, John, are you finished?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Was there an existing deck on top of that garage?
This is where there's confusion. So if you look at aerial photographs, it appears that there was. If you look at the inspection report and the pictures I show you and the rot of that deck and roof and railing, it's been there a very long time. And it needed to be repaired, as I said, because the inspection and the insurance companies would not insure this house without that being repaired.
Right.
So in that state of disrepair implies it's been there a very long time.
The garage or the deck?
The deck and the railing. The garage certainly since 1960.
Right.
But the railing and the deck can't give you a date. It disappears as blurry as you go back in aerial, but it still appears to be there as far back as I can see. That doesn't mean it ever had a permit. I don't know. That's why we're here. So we're gonna have to get a permit for it, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it does,
Well-
it seems de minimis in comparison to the entirety of the pyramid encroachment for the whole garage.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, the
Well,
railing just
but-
doesn't seem to.
But I don't know how de minimis, did
The
I say that
railing.
right? Yeah, I don't know how de minimis it is if there was an existing pyramid of 650 and now a proposed pyramid. We need some clarity on that, of 1530, so almost another 1,000. Because I'll just tell you, I was at the site today, and I was like, oh my God, look at this thing. I mean, it has a very big presence
picture?
on the street, and
Yep.
there's nothing
It's in
else
your packet.
that's
Right,
like
right.
it.
And it's very small.
And I don't even know why a deck up there is needed to be looking down over the street.
I'm
And so
not
I was reading this at first to say that maybe it had a smaller deck.
Is it accurate to call it a deck? I mean, it's not a, is it a functional deck that is used
Yes.
for,
So
like,
looking at I'm looking at
entertaining?
the drawing now, right?
Right.
So here's your garage that's pre-existing. It's in this cinder block pattern.
Yeah,
Okay, that's what was built in 1960 or so with the variance at the front property line.
yeah,
So now we have this encroachment of this deck that's on top of it.
Yeah.
And this much railing.
yeah.
And it goes all the way back to almost the far back of it because of how the pyramid line falls off the front of the property.
There's a permit from
So
the
the
front of the property
650
as well.
would be
yeah.
this.
Yeah,
Right.
The 1500 would be this.
Okay, so that clarifies it then.
Right.
Then what we
Correct.
were talking about as the existing and proposed being maybe a mistake, but now it seems like the existing was the garage, and now we're talking about adding on the
A
deck.
deck.
When was the deck built?
That's what we
That's what-
don't
We
know.
don't know that
Yeah.
That's
at
what I'm
all.
saying, because it's like, it showed up in the aerial photographs as far back as I could see until it blurs out.
When was that? How far back did it go, as far as you could see?
80s.
did you hand out those photos of the
Yeah, they're
property?
attached.
They're in your
packet.
packet that she just handed
There's a
us.
packet with the, it starts with a zoning
This?
board decision.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
Yeah,
the
that's
They're
pictures
photos.
are,
not, they're not in mine, and I
no,
had
I don't
the-
have it
They
either.
are.
They should be.
No,
No?
and I'm the.
Here,
you can look
at this
Page
one.
number,
They're not
I don't
in
have
mine.
them. They- I don't have
Maybe
them
they should
either.
have been, but they're not.
I don't have them either.
I
Look at
find
that one.
this, I was really kind of put back when I saw this today, and I'm not in favor of approving that deck, is what I'll just say to you now. So I don't know what your options are, but I, as one vote, am not in favor of approving that deck. The garage is enough. If you would like to have a deck that goes back further on the property, closer to the house, but, I mean, it looks like a boat in port, you know?
Well, I think maybe what we need would be some information about what it would cost to remove the deck. And
but then we're left with a flat roof.
which you can put a railing across the, if you look at it, if you look at the
Why do people have to walk on it? I mean,
survey,
just put a-
they don't
just
have to
put a-
walk on it. You could put a
A
railing on the
at
far,
the end of it, yeah.
on the part that's closest to the house.
Right,
So nobody walks onto that
Correct.
roof.
correct. Or, you know, perhaps even a smaller
And
deck.
then that would reduce
that
the amount
did
of
not-
pyramid relief you're looking for to
Correct.
630 cubic feet.
Correct. But it's just, it's a lot. I don't have as much issues with the rest of your application regarding, you know, the addition
On the house.
on the house and things like that. But this is a lot. And there's nothing else like it on that street. And I could
Now it's
not-
very unique.
It is unique. And I couldn't support approving that deck, me personally.
All right, so what I'm hearing is, well, first, if we're gonna get a cost to remove the deck, we should also include the cost of what it costs them to rebuild the deck. So that's two things of a factor in.
Well, they built it without a permit.
Without a
Correct.
permit, so that's not
That's
really
not our-
of
that's
our
not our problem.
concern.
All right, so just the cost to remove the
Cost to
deck,
remove it.
or to pull it back and make a smaller deck.
No, no smaller deck. Pulling back the railing to the far, so what we're suggesting is pulling the railing back to here so nobody walks onto it. You would enclose that space.
Is
so
that
no one
flush
can
with the ground?
No,
The
No,
sand?
It's
it's,
built right into the hill.
you'll
No,
see
I
how it's
understand,
built
but when
into
you
the
go
hill.
closer to the house, does it level out with the land?
Yes.
John, I did mention or a smaller
does.
deck as an option
Oh,
for
okay.
them to
The
present,
grade?
but something that would not pierce the pyramid,
Oh,
something that would not pierce the pyramid.
well, absolutely. So then they can decide whether they need to come back for relief.
It would be less relief, so
It would
probably.
be, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you look where the pyramid runs on there, it runs in like 5, 6, 7 rungs or what have you. I mean, if they need to have something for safety there, but I just don't see that deck as being appropriate.
The deck, so if we move the railing back, would the deck still be a bother to you? The deck itself?
You can't have a
Only
deck
if people
without a
went on
railing.
it.
No, but you're going to put a barrier, we're going to move the railing.
If you move the entire deck within the pyramid,
That's going to be
then
very
you're fine,
expensive.
then you don't need any relief with regard to the deck. Then you would
Correct.
only be asking for the 630 for the garage.
Well,
We don't need relief for the garage. The garage is pre-existing.
I mean, if a deck is
It's 50, we
there,
did variance from 19.
Okay.
No, nothing for that.
I mean, the question is, if a deck is there,
Well,
can
then
you
you wouldn't
assume
need
that
any
it's not
relief at
gonna be
all.
used? Yeah. Well, but it's still actually part of the structure that is requiring pyramid relief.
Correct.
So in essence, how could you have a deck and then not be tempted to or use it? So,
But if the railing was pulled back,
Yeah.
that would be less towering.
it would.
But it'd be less, we wouldn't have to remove the deck per se, because that's very expensive.
It
But
would.
we would be prohibiting access to it
It would.
So
and reducing the pyramid
The
relief.
two options sounded that Mike and John were suggesting. One is pull the railing all the way
Yep.
back, and the other was make it a smaller deck and pull it back and reduce your pyramid. Now, even with the flooring of the deck, whether we call it a deck or it's like an additional part to the roof, there would be pyramid relief probably additional from the 650. The 650.
There's no 650s out of the
All right,
picture.
well, but we'd have to look at what the.
The garage
So if you just
only.
took, if you're not, see, they're not gonna take off unless we remove it. I guess that's what we're asking also, is the cost of
my-
removal.
I'm gonna get that, I got that.
My recommendation would be to remove the entire structure of the deck, but, Lori can come back with whatever she wants.
Sure.
Yeah.
We've got several things to investigate here.
Okay, so let's go
Moving
through.
railing, cost to remove deck, pull deck back, smaller deck that does not pierce pyramid, or build the barrier further back.
I mean, I'm also not sure what the necessity of that deck is, considering there's so much other outdoor space attendant to this property. So it would seem to me the best option that I would like to see is to remove the deck altogether, pull back the railing into within the pyramid, and then you can just get rid of that entire line of relief.
Right.
Okay, well, I have not seen the property, so I'm not reacting to it the same way that Michael is. So I want to see what you come back with
Of course,
before I make a decision.
sure. Understood, we have a little bit more research to do as we get to you.
Do we want to talk about the other parts of your request? Or did we already?
Well, the one is having a deck that's more than 1 foot above grade in the front yard.
At the front of the house?
And
Right.
does that mean the deck that's on the garage?
Correct.
It doesn't mean the deck that's attached to the facility?
No, it's
No.
is it the proposed deck at the front of the house?
Yeah, well, that's what I was asking before.
Oh, I don't know what the grade of that proposed deck is, that's very interesting. Hang on.
Yeah, so that's my question on that, is,
Yeah, because you have a proposed deck in
Yeah.
the front of the house as well.
right, see, that's the one I thought was supposed to.
I thought that's the
It's in
one.
the front, and it's probably higher than.
And then my question is, how many feet higher is it?
I see, that makes sense.
And And then you have a proposed one-story addition in the back, and then you want to put another half a floor on the top of the existing house, is that correct?
Correct.
So,
And then we have a parking issue,
then you have a parking issue.
which really can't be resolved without a variance.
Well, and unfortunately, the way that you describe the topography, it goes up. So it's
Yeah.
not like, you know, you can pull a car next to the garage,
No.
or there's a parking
Right,
area or
if you
anything
can
like
see
that.
that photo, you see that there's just like a gravel area for one or,
It's actually, if you look at the
how many
survey,
cars can fit there?
3 or 4, easily.
But it's not their property, it's the right-of-way.
It's in the right of way.
So I think if we grant the variance of one parking, we can't accept that it's, you know, gonna be met because it's in the right-of-way. So
Yeah.
I would say that we go with the one parking
Well, how
space.
much of it is in the right of way?
All of it. This is right to the front line.
Oh, okay.
So
Oh,
the
that's
whole
true.
thing
That's right.
is right of way. So, my recommendation would be to go with approving one parking space for the garage. And, because I don't think that we can't approve more, because there's no existence.
Well, the request is for two.
No, one.
The request is for one.
The
One.
request is to allow one where 3 are required.
Right, so.
So it's a reduction of
That's
two.
right,
We
so,
would be allowing a reduction of
right,
2.
right,
Right.
right. And I just don't see how you can accommodate 2 spaces that doesn't take up the right of way. So I'm not opposed to that.
Okay, so that's a check, and the rest I have to get back to you on.
But yes, so you have to identify the deck we're talking
Yep.
about and how high it is.
Yep.
Okay, and,
We need to know whether it's the proposed deck at the front of the building
Yep.
yes, that's what I just said, yeah.
and how high off
Yes.
the ground it's going to be.
How far above 1 feet, mhm.
And then, is there anything we want to know about the pyramid relief request for the main house, for the
I have
second
no
story
problem with
addition?
that.
I have no problem with that either, I don't think.
What about you, Keith?
I don't have a problem with that.
You don't have a problem with it?
No.
All right.
And,
I'm with my colleagues.
That's
Has anyone
not
spoken to the
unreasonable.
neighbors?
No,
So we're not sure how they,
I've not heard from anybody.
Okay.
We sent it out with our letterhead, and no one called.
okay, is anybody else from the board? Helen, anybody from the board like to comment? Is there anyone in the audience who would like to comment about the application of Cassidy at 41 Wickatuck Drive? Is there anyone on Zoom who would like to comment on this application? Okay. Michael? Let's see what we
Okay,
can do.
so when would you like to come back? Yeah, It's holidays, you have
Yes.
some work to do.
The architect's away, I can't get an answer on which
know.
deck and how high.
So
so-
our meeting
And the
dates,
cost.
the next meeting date that seems most reasonable is what?
The-
Let me know, it doesn't.
I think the 18th.
Would you
18th.
wanna go
118?
to, you want to go to February 1st?
No, they're anxious to get this done, so I'm sure they can get a cost
So
estimate right
January
away.
18th?
That's really the
Is that-
main
We
thing.
have room for that? Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, so we'll keep this open.
Yep.
We'll see you back here on January 18th.
With
Second.
With answers, thank you.
Okay, thank you very
Okay.
much.
And
If you-
happy holidays,
Okay,
everyone.
Mr. Tuthill,
if you-
Thanks for waiting,
Just a
Lori.
copy of
I mean,
my,
Mr.
Aye.
Mr. Daly,
That's fine, aye.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Mr. Tuthill,
Aye.
Ms. Burgess.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a
Chair
happy
votes aye.
holiday.
You
Okay.
too.
And a happy
Have a
new
nice
year.
party.
In the, yeah.
If you'd like to submit something, as a written submission in the meantime, so we have it before the next meeting, you're
That would
welcome to
be
do that as
helpful.
well.
That would be really helpful.
Oh, yes, no, I'm gonna get you answers. The
Okay,
cost estimate, et cetera. You
Thanks,
know,
Lori.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yes.
we don't have jurisdiction.
Thank you.
Nope, we gotta read the whole thing.
Yeah. Item 2 on the agenda is Henry Kubota, 33A Seabreeze Avenue in West Hampton, Suffolk County Tax Map 900-354-4-95.2. Applicant seeks relief from the following provisions of the town code to legalize the existing deck constructed on the south side of the dwelling without the benefit of a building permit on a non-conforming lot. 330-11, Residence District Table of Dimensional Regulations. 4, an accessory side yard setback of 5 feet 4 inches where 10 feet is required, And 2, 330-76D, placement of accessory building structures and uses in all districts, and 330-83C yards to allow the deck to remain within the required minimum and the total side yard for the principal building. 2, to legalize an accessory apartment constructed within the dwelling without the benefit of a building permit. 330-11.2F, special standards for the following. A total lot area of 20,565 square feet, where a minimum of 32,000 square feet is required. 2, for a lot width of 98.24 feet, where a minimum of 105 feet is required, 70% of the required 150 feet. And 3, for the existing deck, an accessory side yard setback of 5.4 feet, where 14 feet is required, 70% of the required 20 feet, and any other relief necessary.
Board has jurisdiction?
You guys have been busy, huh?
No. We bought the house.
Wait,
wait,
let me
wait.
swear you in.
Yeah.
Are you attorneys?
No.
Okay, can you raise your hand? Do you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Aye. And would you please state your name and your addresses?
Henry Tabota, 33A, Seabreeze Avenue, West Hampton.
Rachel Tabota, 33A, Seabreeze Avenue, West Hampton.
Okay, I know, sorry for the delay tonight, but, so tell us about your application.
So we purchased the home in May of 2021, and it was family friend. He passed away. Family owns the house. They want to sell it. They approached us. We agreed to buy it. We had been renting it for about 10 years. And so we, after purchasing it, come to find out that these things are not in order as we thought they were. So here we are trying to legalize everything that we purchased in 2021. So we have a building permit currently in place because of the, there was the percentage of habitable space between the apartment and the main dwelling.
And do you know what those percentages are?
I know we didn't meet them, and then we finished the basement, got a permit, finished the basement, so the habitable space on the main side is now better. It
complies.
It complies,
So
yeah.
it complies with the 35%?
Yes,
Right. Okay.
yes, absolutely,
Okay, good.
yeah.
I think it was previously
30
33%.
Yeah, it was like 33, so now
And
it's.
you added some habitable space so
Exactly.
that you now meet the,
Right.
the standard?
Right.
Okay.
So, can I ask a
Yep.
question?
Mhm.
I was a little confused as to what's the accessory apartment, what,
Okay, yeah, so
I'm not-
it's not like a two-story house, it's a split level, so it's like only 2 steps down.
And the whole
I-
back of the house.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's the whole top, this,
I can, let me see.
okay, so,
see, it's this, see this,
well,
John?
let him, he's the applicant, he's the witness,
I
he
know
should
that.
testify as to it. So, where is the habitable, where is the accessory apartment
Okay.
on
let's
your,
see.
Mhm.
This,
is it,
so this plan does not, it's basically,
This?
it's basically this.
okay, so it's,
So this is, yes, exactly, this is it here. This is the bedroom, the
so
bathroom,
it's a one-bedroom with a kitchen and a family room.
exactly. It's
And
the
that-
back of the
and
house,
bathroom.
yep. So
Just
here's,
there.
here's where the steps are. From this wall, everything forward is the main part of the house. Everything in the back is the apartment.
Okay, and
Yep.
this is on the first level and this is the second level?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep, no problem.
And when was that accessory apartment created?
Back when the house was built in
Yeah.
1985.
Yep.
Because the owner built that house with that apartment for his handicapped daughter, and that the front part would provide rent or an income for her. So she lived in the back part, and then they rented the main
The
front
main house.
house for her to have income. But then, as time went on, she didn't want to live there anymore, so then, you know, over years and years, he just rented, but then.
Both.
Yeah,
Yeah.
both, and then we came along in 2011, and we started renting the whole house, because we said we want the whole house, we don't want renters, you know, and separated, and we had our family, and we needed the whole house.
Yeah.
So our daughter and her husband live in that apartment, and we live up in the front
In the main
camp.
side. Yeah.
So it's just, we're all family.
That's your primary residence?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
It's our only residence.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I had a couple of questions. I was a little confused on the side yard setback and what the standard was that we were looking at. This is an R40 zoning, correct? That's what the application says, it's R40.
It's possible, yeah.
Yeah. And I understand that the setback for R40 side yard setback is 20 feet. So I'm a little confused on number one, where you say for an accessory side yard setback of 5.5 feet 4 inches, where 10 feet is required. Am I misunderstanding? I
It's for
see,
the-
I
yeah,
see
the-
where it
the
is,
deck.
but I'm just asking.
Or is that the
Yeah.
house?
What what your standard is. I mean, if we're gonna grant a variance, we have to be accurate in terms of what we're granting the variance from.
Okay.
And I'm confused as to whether it's 10 feet or 20 feet. And then at the end, you talk about 5 feet 4 inches where 14 feet is required.
Well, it says that the building department notes say that it was, property was part of a filed map entitled to R20 zoning setbacks.
Okay, so that's
what
the,
that's in.
Yeah.
okay, so that's the 10 feet. Okay, good.
That's right, that's the 10 feet.
All right,
That's what it
good.
says, yeah.
Good,
Yep.
I'm glad you clarified that, thank you.
So is that that's a wood deck, that is
Yeah.
not, that does not have an interior? Okay.
No, it's
Yeah. It's wood frame.
yeah. And it's been there that whole time,
Right,
since the
right.
35 years.
So
or
your
38.
application is really, you just want to clear things up and get it correct.
Exactly.
Right, we
Yeah.
just want to legalize.
Have you
Legalize
spoken
it.
to your neighbor to the southeast of you? On the
West
lot line where the deck would be?
The West Hampton Beach Fire Department.
Oh, is that what,
Yeah.
oh, is that what it is? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the
Oh, okay.
substation.
Yeah.
You're the flag lot, right
Right.
behind.
Exactly.
You're not the
Right.
front house, you're A, which is
Exactly.
the
Correct.
behind lot.
Right.
Yep.
And this wood deck has been there for,
The whole
Since-
time,
whole time.
Yep.
since 1985.
right. And there, I know that the
Oh, I
building
see.
department
It's
did
like
have a
this.
comment about removing the shed or putting it to a
Conforming
conforming
location.
location.
We did.
Oh, you
I
did?
moved it. I dragged it to the 10 feet, 10
Okay,
feet off the property line.
all right, so it's not shown on the survey, that's, you know.
Yeah, because I just did it knowing we were coming here, so
Mhm.
I just wanted to do it, but I know we're gonna have to get,
A
new
new survey.
surveys.
A new
Yeah.
survey
Yep.
showing where
Yeah.
it is
What it is.
located.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah, we didn't know if there'd be other things to have to show on the survey, so we said
Yeah,
we'll
yeah,
just wait.
makes sense, don't
Yeah.
do it until you
Yeah.
know.
Right.
Give us a few minutes, we'll find something.
Actually, I really have no problem with this application. I think you're doing the right thing by trying to legalize everything and get it in order.
Right,
You know, so
okay, thank you.
I have no problem with it.
And there's no issue with the percentage, correct?
No,
Right,
apparently not.
'cause they're under.
But they've met the
So
percentage.
that begs a little bit of a question. So the building permit for the basement, which helped the percentage for the apartment. Now, the apartment, from what I understand, is if we're granted,
Legalize it.
to legalize it, then I have to apply for a building permit for it.
Yes.
So then, when I apply for the building permit, because we still have an open permit,
Mm-hmm.
so do I need to renew the open permit?
Only if it expires.
Well, it did, it expired in December.
What was the open permit
It
for?
was for the
It
basement.
was for the basement.
Did
For the
they
basement,
ever-
is the basement
And-
done?
And it's done, and it's, all the inspections are done, the only thing is it's open because they said we still need an answer from
The
ZBA.
That's gonna be a question for the building.
Yeah.
We can actually talk to Marjorie about that.
Okay,
Marjorie
okay.
or Maura.
So
It's
it's
not
like-
something
it's like-
that I'm
it's kinda
familiar
like one of
with.
these-
Order.
I'm not familiar
The
with it.
chicken
They
so-
may
and the egg.
reopen it just for the purposes of
Yeah.
closing it.
No, it sounds like you're gonna have to probably renew that and when,
Yeah.
apply for the other one and then you close them all at
And
the
then
same
close them
time.
all at the same
That's what
time.
it sounds
Yeah.
like, but we have to check with the building department to confirm.
Okay,
Okay.
all right.
And then do you have somebody living in there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
our daughter.
Their daughter and
Oh,
son.
family.
Yeah, so
Family.
it's all
Yeah.
family.
Okay, so it's family. Perfect.
Yep.
Okay, so any other questions from board members?
No.
Negative.
Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to be heard on the application of, how do you pronounce
Taboda.
Taboda
Taboda.
of 33A Seabreeze Avenue. Is there anybody on Zoom who wishes to be heard on this application? Okay, hearing none. Bob is not here, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to say that we're going to keep this open for written comments. We're going to close the public hearing, keep it open for written comments, which probably includes modifying the survey. And written comments will be due on January 5th.
Yes.
Get it by then?
To
Would
get
you
a
be able
new
to get
survey?
the survey done by
Just-
January 5th?
Probably
No.
Okay.
I wouldn't
Not
think
with
so.
the
So we should
holidays.
extend that a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so,
About the 19th.
about the 19th, and then come back on, or submit it by the 19th with a decision on February 1st.
Okay.
Does that
And
sound
if you
good?
can't submit it by the 19th, we just
Yeah, we'll
probably
just
won't
move
have
it
your
along.
decision on February 1st. It'll be put
Push
off
back,
another,
okay.
okay,
All right.
another
Okay.
meeting.
Second.
So,
All right, so let me just get that written by January 19th, and a decision February
First.
1st.
Do we need, excuse me, do we also need them to give the percentage of what the square footage is now of the accessory versus
I
the
would
square
like
footage of
that,
the whole
just
house? If you
a
could also-
confirmation, if you could do the habitable
Well, it
space
could-
for the main.
I mean, it complies. The building
complies, so-
department hasn't,
The building department hasn't raised it with us, so therefore
Yeah.
we don't have to ask.
yeah, I mean,
Okay,
it was the whole reason we finished the basement,
Yeah.
No, okay, so you don't have to
so
worry
that,
about
so that
that.
we did comply.
But you do need to
That's right.
submit
It would have been
a
mentioned.
survey
Yes.
about the shed.
okay,
being
thank
moved.
you.
Right, so that's the written part, that, we just need to get the survey with the.
That's all, you don't
Yep.
have to come back.
Okay,
Uh,
I'll
submit
second
that.
your
All right.
I just
motion.
have a question, because you.
I already
you-
seconded it.
You want
Keith.
He's
the
thirding it.
survey to show the shed and
I'll third it.
location?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what was that?
The survey to show the
Have the
shed
whole
and the
damn
location?
board.
Yes,
Okay.
Thank you.
all right.
okay.
Thank you.
Okay,
Appreciate it.
All right,
Let's take the
Mr.,
vote.
who did the?
I
original?
seconded.
No, wait, all right,
You
you seconded?
moved, I seconded.
Okay, Mr. Leonard.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Thank you.
Aye.
Okay.
Mr. Tudhill.
Happy
Aye.
holidays,
Okay.
happy
Mr.
New Year.
Daly.
Aye.
Thank you.
Ms.
Have a
Burgess.
safe travel home.
Chair votes aye. Okay. All right, so we're up to decisions. So let me get out the decisions.
which decision are you waiting on? Goldsmith, oh, that's the first one.
We have 6 decisions tonight, so the first one is Goldsmith. So I have a decision in the matter of Florence Goldsmith, Suffolk County Tax Map 900-322-4-1.3. This application is for property located at 5 Windermere Close, Hampton Bays. Applicant requests side yard setback variances for proposed additions to an existing dwelling. This application passes the standards set forth in New York State Town Law and the Town Code. Therefore, and for the aforementioned reasons, this board grants relief from Town Code Section 330-11, Residence District Table of Dimensional Regulations, for a principal total side yard setback of 39.8 feet where 60 feet is required, and a principal minimum side yard setback of 12.6 feet where 20 feet is required for an attached garage, an attached gazebo, and a living area addition to an existing dwelling, as shown on the survey prepared by Frank Galuzzo, LS of Empire State Surveying PC, last dated December 7, 2023, and the plans and elevations prepared by Paul J. Clinton, RA, digitally signed June 27, 2023, and last revised June 30, 2023. This decision is subject to such other conditions and permits as applicant has already acquired and may otherwise have to acquire for final approval of the subject premises, including the removal or conforming relocation of the shed prior to the issuance of any certificates.
Second.
Mr. Daly.
Aye.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Mr. Tudhill.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Okay, let me just take a sip of water, please. We've got 5 more. Thank you very much for being here and waiting. Okay, I have a decision in the matter of Diane and Edwin Schottenstein, Suffolk County Tax Map 900-370-1-16. This application is for property located at 27 Meeting House Road, Keog. Applicant requests variances for a proposed addition to an existing dwelling on a narrow, non-conforming lot. This application passes the standards set forth in New York State Town Law and Town Code. Therefore, this board grants relief from the following provisions of the Town Code for a proposed addition to an existing dwelling. 1. Town Code Section 330-84D, pyramid height, for an encroachment in the amount of 83.25 cubic feet. And 2, Town Code Section 330-11, residence districts table of dimensional regulations, for a principal front yard setback of 39.5 feet where 40 feet is required, a minimum side yard setback of 15.2 feet where 20 feet is required, and a total side yard setback of 38.7 feet where 45 feet is required. This board also grants relief from Town Code Section 330-11 for a principal front yard setback of 39.7 feet where 40 feet is required for a proposed entry addition. These variances are granted as shown on the survey prepared by Pat T. Secafio, I pronounced that
that's right.
correctly, Land Surveying PC, last updated November 27, 2023. And the floor plans and elevations prepared by Edward Eric Koenig of Carmel Hill Architects, last revised May 30, 2023. Grant of the foregoing is subject to such other conditions and permits as applicant has already acquired and may otherwise have to acquire for final approval of subject premises.
Second.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Mr. Daly.
Aye.
Mr. Tuthill.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess. Aye. Chair votes aye. I have a decision in the matter of Susan and James Morrell, Suffolk County Tax Map 900-26-4-6. This application is for property located at 31 Carlisle Lane, Sag Harbor. Applicant requests variances for a proposed detached garage on a non-conforming lot. This application passes the standards set forth in New York State Town Law and the Town Code. Therefore, this board grants relief from Town Code Section 330-76D, placement of accessory buildings, structures, and uses in all districts, and Town Code Section 330-83C, yards, to allow a proposed detached garage to be located within the required minimum and total side yard for the principal building, as shown on the survey prepared by John F. Rolisky, LS of Rolisky Land Surveying, last revised October 4th, 2022, and the garage plans and elevations prepared by James S. Merrill, R.A., dated June 26, 2023. This decision is subject to such other conditions and permits as application has already acquired or may otherwise have to acquire for final approval of subject premises, including addressing the overclearing of the lot and the removal or conforming relocation of the shed prior to the issuance of any certificates for the proposed garage.
Second.
Mr. Daly.
Aye.
Mr. Tudhill.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess. Aye. Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. I have a decision in the matter of Stephen and Melissa Lesser, Suffolk County Tax Map 900-4-1-75.1. This application is for property located at 62 Noyak Harbor Road, Noyak. Applicant requests variance for a proposed one-family dwelling and detached garage on a non-conforming lot burdened by wetlands. After several modifications, the applicants reduced the pyramid encroachment on the proposed house and eliminated encroachment on the garage. As such, this application passes the standards set forth in New York State Town Law and the Town Code. Therefore, this board grants relief from Town Code Section 330-84D, pyramid height, for an encroachment in the amount of 3,972 cubic feet, and Town Code Section 330-115, continuance, for a total side yard setback of 21 feet where 27.2 feet is required for a proposed one-family dwelling. As shown on the survey prepared by John F. Brolisky of Brolisky, am I saying that right?
Borelski.
Borelski, Land Surveying, last dated February 15, 2023, and the floor plans and elevations prepared by architect Salvador Cicerelli, Jr., last dated October 30, 2023. Grant of the foregoing is subject to such other conditions and permits as applicant has already acquired or may otherwise have to acquire for final approval of subject premises.
Second.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Mr. Tudhill.
Aye.
Mr. Daly.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess. Aye. Chair votes aye. Two more. I have a decision in the matter of Joseph Alioso. Am I pronouncing his name right? Okay. Suffolk County Tax Map 900-64-1-46.3. This application is for property located at 219 Ocean View Parkway, North Sea. Applicant requests variances for a proposed accessory apartment and an interpretation with respect to the size of the proposed accessory building. After modifications were made to the application reducing the requested relief, this board finds that it passes the standards set forth in New York State town law and town code. Therefore, this board finds the proposed building to be an accessory building as it relates to the main dwelling and grants relief from 1, Town Code Section 330-11.2F Special Standards to allow the proposed accessory apartment to be located on a property with a lot area of 80,030 square feet, where a minimum of 160,000 square feet is required, 80% of the required 200,000 square feet. And 2, Town Code Section 330-11.2J1 to allow 2 driveways where only 1 access driveway shall be permitted on a lot having an accessory apartment. As shown on the survey prepared by Michael K. Wicks, L.S., dated October 12, 2023, and the floor plans and elevations prepared by Volano Architecture, dated October 26, 2023. Grant of the foregoing relief is subject to such other conditions and permits as the applicant has already acquired or may otherwise have to acquire for final approval of subject premises.
Second.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Mr. Daly.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess. Mr. Tudhill.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. I have a decision in the matter of Eugene Presta, Suffolk County Tax Map 900-391-1-34. This application is for property located at 626 Dune Road, West Hampton. Applicant initially requested a variance for a pyramid encroachment in the amount of 12,221 cubic feet for a second-story addition to an existing dwelling. After several modifications, applicant now requests a pyramid encroachment in the amount of 3,028.6 cubic feet for a proposed 2-story dwelling on existing pilings located on a non-conforming lot in an AE-7 flood zone. As modified, this application passes the standards set forth in New York State town law and the town code. Therefore, this board grants relief from Town Code Section 330-84D for a pyramid encroachment in the amount of 3,028.6 cubic feet, 1,395.9445 cubic feet on the west, and 1,632.6225 cubic feet on the east, for a proposed 2-story dwelling on existing pilings, as shown on the survey prepared by Kenneth Wolchek, Wojciech, last revised December 10, 2023, and the floor plans and elevations prepared by Emilio Sousa, R.A., last revised September 22, 2023. The grant of the following foregoing relief is subject to such other conditions and permits as applicant has already acquired or may otherwise have to acquire for final approval of subject premises.
Second.
Mr. Tudhill.
Aye.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Mr. Daly.
I abstain.
Ms. Burgess. Chair votes aye. Okay, that's it.
Motion to close.
Motion to close.
Motion to close.
All in favor?
I know.
Aye.